I'm back. And guess what time it is? It's time to get started on St. Patrick's Day. So if you want to see what I plan on fixing for today's video for St. Patrick's Day series, then keep watching. Hey everyone, it's April and thanks for coming by my channel, My Crazy Creative Life. Well, Valentine's has came and gone for 2023. So what's coming up next? Well, St. Patrick's Day, of course. So we're going to get started with our St. Patrick's Day series. And as promised, I'm going to try to do, leading up to St. Patrick's Day, we're going to try to do, even though I'm jumping ahead of time because it's still February, but we're going to try to make a dessert and a craft hopefully every week. But for our very first St. Patrick's Day treat, we are going to make mint chocolate chip cookies. And these are so cute, if you can see. Well, no, you can't see that. It's another Pinterest recipe, and it is her website, and I'll put it up here. It's adventuresofb2.com. adventuresofb2.com. That's her website, and that is the recipe that we are going by for today. All right, so I'm gonna get all of our ingredients together and we're gonna get started. All right, you ready to get started? And yes, I'll point out I still have my Valentine's decorations up, but I plan on one day this week taking my Valentine's down and putting my St. Patrick's up, and I'm gonna bring you along with me. So stay tuned for that video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, then this is a good opportunity for you to hit that little subscribe button and then turn on the notifications so when I do all this switcheroo, then you'll know and you can be with me. All right, so enough of that, let's get back to this. So the first step, we are going to take 1 stick of butter. It's unsalted butter. And you want to make sure that it's at room temperature. If not, then you need to soften it in the microwave gently. Just do it every few seconds while you're flipping it until it gets to stop being soft. Okay, so if you watched any of my videos with the Valentines, and if not, I'm going to also put that because that was kind of fun. Some of the videos were crazy, but I will put a card right there to my Valentine's Day series. It was 14 days of Valentine's, and then I'll also put it in the description box below, as well as her recipe. I will put it in the description box below too. Okay, so first step, we are going to blend. We're going to whip this butter up really good before we add anything else. Okay, nice and fluffy. Then we're going to add 1/2 cup of granulated sugar and 1/2 cup of brown sugar, packed brown sugar. So let me get the brown sugar here. And I'm gonna go ahead and crack my egg. Make sure it's room temperature as well. I'm just gonna crack it in my 1/2 cup because I'm not gonna use it again. That way I make sure I don't get a shell in it. Okay. Wash your eggy hands. All right, so we're gonna blend this sugar and butter. We're gonna whip it real good, blend it real good. And then after I get it incorporated, then we'll add the egg. Okay, now let's add the egg. That should look pretty close like cake batter. And I don't know why I have a yellow cast, but okay. Now, let's stop here. I am not going to do what we done during Valentine's. If you watched it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I'm gonna plug the card in right up here so that way you can watch it. But it is the one we done the 14 days of Valentine's. It was the one where I made the white chocolate macadamia cherry cookies. I can't even get that out. But I kind of made a mistake on that, so we're not gonna repeat that mistake right now. We are gonna add 1/4. That's not a lot. We're going with 1/2. 1/4, that's just barely. Anyway, one thing you'll learn about me, I'm always altering recipes and it drives my husband nuts, but So we're going to do a half a teaspoon of vanilla, and then 1 1/2 teaspoon of peppermint. And don't you love how I just use the half? This is 1 teaspoon. So we're going to do 1 1/2 of just the pure peppermint. Okay, so we're doing vanilla and pure peppermint. All right. And we're going to add some green food coloring. This is optional. If you are allergic to food coloring, or if you just don't like the thought of having added color dyes, whatever, in your food, you don't have to put this in here. But this is just to make it green, so that way we got green cookies. So I'm going to add some food coloring in here. This is the gel. If you use the liquid, you only need a few drops, but this is the gel, so I'm going to need more than just a couple of drops. We're going to blend that up really good. And see, had I not made that mistake on the Valentine's cookies, what this does, it shows you if you think you got enough color before you add your flour in. If you think that's enough color, good. If not, you can add just a little bit more. Your color will fade some whenever your cookies bake. We're going to add the flour now, and make sure that you don't overmix once you add the flour in, because that will make hard, tough cookies. We don't want that. All right, so you also want to make sure that you sift your flour and your leavening agents. You don't want a bunch of lumps in your cookies unless it's a chocolate chip. Okay, so there's the flour. And I about forgot, there's your leavening agents. You're going to add 1 1/2 cup of flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and I always use the pink Himalayan, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, the one in the white canister, because I almost messed up. I grabbed my baking soda. Okay, so that's in there good. Now we're just going to give this a quick blend. We don't want to overdo it here. Okay, some of your flour is not even completely absorbed, and that's okay. We'll take care of that here in a second with our spoon. Might be a good idea to unplug this before you start sticking your spoon in there. You might actually accidentally turn it on, and then that would probably break your wrist. It would certainly break your spoon and your beaters. Okay, and as you can see, I wish I had an overhead shot, but I don't. There's still a little bit of flour not incorporated. That's okay, because we're going to incorporate that when we put in our chocolate chips. So the next ingredient is 1 cup of chocolate chips. And then you're just going to take a wooden spoon or some kind of a heavy spoon and just incorporate it together. You don't really want to use the mixer for this part. Ooh, I smell the mint. Okay, I forgot, I never remembered to tell you up front, but you need to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. If you recall on any of my videos from last time, my baking sheet bakes a little bit hot, so I put mine to 325. But if you just have a normal cookie sheet, then you want to preheat to 350. All right, let's get our cookie sheet out, and we will get these bad boys in the oven. Got my favorite cookie scoop, and I'm ready to go. Okay, these will spread because we've not stuck them in the fridge to let them kind of get cold again. So just make sure that you have room, that you leave room for the cookies to spread. And we're fixing to go in the oven for, I believe it's 10 minutes. I want to go in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. Just keep a good eye on them. Okay, I just pulled them from the oven. And it's hard to see from this angle, but you can see just a slight bit of brown on the bottom. And they look like they're done, they just need to cool. All right, so I will leave them on the pan to cool about 5 minutes, and then I will transfer them to a cookie cooling rack. Okay, I kind of skipped the part of the cooling rack and I went ahead and put them on a plate because they're cool enough now. But there they are, our Aren't those pretty? And I kind of cheated. I accidentally took a bite of one. I forgot I hadn't recorded it yet. So anyway, they are good. You taste the mint and you pretty much taste the chocolate chips, and it's about an equal ratio, in my opinion anyway. So it's a good cookie. Once again, if you haven't subscribed yet, I hope that you do. Go ahead and push that little button. I mean, it's right there. Just go push it. And push the like button while you're at it. Turn on the notifications. That way, as we go through this St. Patrick's Day series, then you'll be notified. And then, like I said earlier, whenever I switch everything over, then you'll be notified. So I really do appreciate, and I hope that you have stayed this long. If you've stayed to the end of the video, you're a champ. And I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you for all your support, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye. Chocolate fingers.